So, I'm going to be talking about my road to profitability with my brand, Systemless. These sneakers I've been developing for years, and this will technically be my first company presentation where I'm going to talk about some revenue targets and treating the overall hobby as a company, as a business, actually making money rather than just an expense or a hobby, whatever you want to call it. So, basically, I'm going to talk about some big bullet points that I want to get into these sub targets where I will appear as a healthy company or I will purport um, that I'm hitting these targets to ensure that I'm able to offer shares of my company just to fundraise and be able to produce these prototypes that have extremely capital intensive, what is it called? Um, Requirements. Sorry, I just got a warning message from OBS Studio. But it involves a lot of capital, so I need, we're talking tens of thousands to make prototypes and going back and forth to China or Los Angeles, whatever place is economically viable will be a few thousand, each way and all that. So I need to fundraise. I don't want to just come out of pocket, which is possible, but it's just not a good place to be in as a young CEO or a CEO of a young company. But let's get into it. I'm going to talk about year one, and I'm going to quickly show these prototypes I have right here. Year one, the initial target will be initiating my first sale of a sneaker, which I don't have. I've been making shoes for a while, but I haven't actually sold any shoes. So technically, it's in the limbo of being a hobby and not actual business. So in my personal life right now, I'm implementing full austerity as much as is possible because I have my own habits, but whatever. Um, I'm getting my trying to save as much put into my Robinhood account to just have that strong number to be ready for year I think three. All right, yeah, year three, and you know selling all these things that I don't. And as I'm taking a step back from music, I'm selling a lot of music equipment, so that's helping and trying to treat my life as part of the business and cutting down on physical items I don't need, just selling that on eBay or whatever. Um, so into this year and next year, I'm going to market these two. I mean, on my channels, you've probably seen that I've posted about this sneaker, the 2018, numerous times. Some promotion just gets no traction, um, and similar things happen. But I've posted about it a lot, and I'll continue to post about it and offer new colorways. I really like this colorway, but maybe it's the colorway that's not working. The fluorescent orange doesn't really work with the earth tones. Maybe for the market, I don't know. But I think it'll be healthy to offer more colorways of that model, the 2018, and giving the uh, 2019 a better shot by offering more colorways, more promotion. I posted about it today. Um, this model is obviously more commercially viable than that one or previous things I've showcased. Um, but I think this one, I really like this model, and I think it's obviously very colorful. So I'll have to offer more of the earth tones and um more subdued conservative colorways like this one, in a certain sense. So yeah, I'll continue rendering numerous colorways, earth tone, playful colorways using pastels, but also offering conservative, more toned down looks just to get that customer base, someone who's not really like into the whole colorful sneaker. The market now is very, we're in a the sneaker game or whatever is kind of dead. So I have to offer more like black on black, brown on black, maroon or whatever with black or something. Um, the next goal, well, part of that goal is, ensure that it's on all my viable platforms, TikTok and Instagram. I'm rolling out the sneakers and the website. It's point of sale ready. I have a website. I've had a website for years, but it's just, you know, in it's just stagnated really. So I have to get that ready in year one. I'll acquire viable partnership leads like Little Jupiter Nightwing 2303, otherwise known as wear testers, or smaller accounts would work too. I also want to, as I get into in a second, keep the expenses down. So Little Jupiter is going to cost, I'm already looking at promotional costs, which I'm not a fan of under this austerity I've implemented, but it is what it is. We'll see how realistic it is to continue to pay for promotion on other people's channels. I will also acquire viable prototype production from Alibaba, AliExpress, Taobao, one of those Chinese manufacturer platforms, just to see what a production, prototype would look like from a, account on there. Now, the sub targets for year one would be gain at least 100 followers on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, respectively. On TikTok, that shouldn't be too hard because I'm already like at 50, and maybe I should raise that target, but it shouldn't be too hard. Gain at least 25 active, engaging fans. Keep promotional expenses under $1,000, and keep development expenses under $1,000 because it's so early on in year one. We'll definitely see more of that expense in year two, with the target being limited public offering to fundraise. All models up until the, what did I put there? 27 are unveiled. The 2018, obviously unveiled. The 2019, the 2018.5 is unveiled, but it's, I don't have it right here. It's not even finished. The 2026 I have not shown before, and the 27 I have not shown before. They're still in production. I'm still making them, and by year two, those should all be unveiled. The whole five, the lot. So, you know, those will be on the website then, and everything marketed and all that. So, offer around 25 shares will be the limited public offering I'm targeting at an evaluation of at least $100,000 for the whole company, because revenue will hit at least 12,500 at an 8x evaluation. So that's actually, as it stands, it's pretty, what I call it. It's a pretty aspirational target, but I think it's still in the realm of realistic. So that's the evaluation I'm targeting for my offering. I tend to produce guerrilla marketing content of like some sort of live reaction to a systems list product, like going on a boardwalk or some shit and being like, "Hey, random guy, what do you think about this sneaker? Oh, these are so cool." That whole commercial trope. So I think that would be cool. Something akin to that would work in the marketing side. I would document meeting with manufacturers in China, Los Angeles, which would be like a cool travel vlog, coupled with like business themes and shit. So that'll be in this series in year two, hopefully, maybe even earlier, depending on how well things go. The sub targets of year two would be revenue at 12,500, as I said, to get that $100,000 valuation. Gain at least 500 followers on TikTok, Instagram. Now that I think of it, that's a pretty ambitious revenue target with only 500 followers on TikTok, Instagram. They don't have, these aren't, written in stone. They could be manipulated as time goes on, well into 27 year one. On TikTok, IG, YouTube, respectively, gain at least 100 active, engaging fans. I feel that's somewhat more realistic because if you have active, engaged fans, hitting 12,500, that's not too unrealistic, but, we'll see. Keep promotional expenses under 5,000 and keep development expenses under 25,000, which would be the big whopper of the production bill, which would be covered by the initial shares offering. And then at this point, we'd be at year three. The target would be beginning prototypes for new product because I'm so entrenched in development of these five sneakers. By this point, I'll be out of that and I'll be able to, refresh the product offering. So that'll be nice. Acquire product showcasing on big platforms, which would be awesome, like on Etsy or Amazon. Some sort of like, oh, look at this DIY sneaker brand that kind of is on the come up or whatever, something like that. I know Shopify likes to like do kind of showcase like that type of stuff. And then begin A list commercial content. Like I think of like Nike showcasing like the explosions of their air units and their foams and stuff. Extremely expensive production commercials that cost thousands of dollars. I want to eventually get into that realm, which would compete on a marketing level with big players. So year three, I want to get into that and have a foothold there. Appear on the established sneaker circuit, like the shoe game on Instagram. That's a favorite of mine. Low Jupiter, not a favorite of mine, but it'll definitely target who I'm trying to get as a fan base or a customer base. Be on YouTube and these three without promo or similar accounts on social media. The sub targets of year three would be revenue at $50,000, gain at least 5,000 followers on these platforms respectively, gain at least 1,000 active engaging fans, fans that purchase more than one product, something like that, or people who you see are active on social media pages. The sub targets of year three in terms of promotional expenses under 10,000 and development expenses under 10,000 as well. And then year four, the target would be gain a foothold in Miami. I want to live in Miami. It's a dream of mine. Um, it's not impossible to live there, but, in terms of what actual area you reside in, I do want to live in Brickell, but I'm also not that wealthy. So we'll see how realistic that is for my, headquarters or what's it called, located, in Miami. We'll see how realistic that is. Have at least 150,000 liquid assets for expansion in the Miami market. I guess that's just like a personal goal of mine to have 150K in net worth because I don't want to just dump all my money into my company and just be in a place where it has to work. I know AMS and like similar influencers might have said stuff like that where you got to go all in. I just don't really like I've gone all in on shit and that's not really my ethos, but we'll see. We'll see. Have a comparable credit score for institutional financing. My credits, I don't have any derogatory marks other than maybe like too many accounts. I don't think that's technically, but be able to get like funding from Chase or something to finance expensive, production and stuff. Appear on at least one Red Pill podcast. Like, so my camera just died, or my computer just died. So I'll get right back to it. Not a professional look, but we're making do. You know, we make do with what we can. I mean, um, year four, in Miami, have at least 150,000 K comparable credit score. Appear on at least one Red Pill podcast. GG33, Rolo Tomasi, Fresh and Fit, Sneeko, either paid or unpaid. I don't really care which, as long as it's not too expensive. I don't know how realistic those are, but in terms of price, the sub targets at this point would be revenue at least 50,000 or more, gain at least 10,000 followers on socials, gain at least 2,500 active engaging fans, keep promotional expenses under 20,000, and keep development expenses under 20,000 as well. And that's when uh, you know I could possibly push back all these years, um, 1 year ahead, and just stuff them all well into year five. And because it's so up in the air, I feel like I really just put 25, uh, 250K, of cash value or asset value at this point for me. Um, Depending on how things go, as like my personal um, assets. That's like a vague target I have. So at this point, I don't know um, how the company would look. It's just so far into the future that you know where 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 would I be facing at this? What direction would I be facing at year five? It's hard to say. So that's my presentation on systems with sneakers, which is primarily a sneaker brand at this point. I did try to do music, but I've definitely put that on the back burner. Maybe later on it'll be viable, but in terms of right now, I don't see my music really doing anything. I guess I could talk a little bit about some of the moments where I thought I could um, gain traction with music. Last year, maybe someone watching remembers, um, I got a lot of I got like 60 likes on a Freemasonry video. This was around the Christmas time, and it was around the time Larry Ellison. It was I think it was Larry Ellison. I'm not too sure, but Oracle got the green light to buy the TikTok rights, the company rights, you know, to acquire them under Paramount or something. Long story short, Larry Ellison got to buy TikTok, and I guess their whole Zionist regime, they, you know, pretty much implemented these super stringent, pro-Jewish guidelines. So even like Freemasonry videos got taken down. So I got hit at that time, and I was getting decent. Like I had like a bunch of influx of followers from that video and active commenters and stuff. But I guess that really wasn't music related, but I did get like 6 likes on some random. I went to go busk by a freaking mural that's like a Freemasonry lodge here in Portland, and that got like 6 likes, which was cool. But music is just not. It's so saturated. There's so many people doing music that as a treating your music act as a company, it's so cringe. So I'm really doing something different. Like not many people start shoe brands, so I think this will be refreshing. And it's not like my music was that innovative. Um, I still love music. I still want to compose for people or myself and be like an act. But I also don't want to get plastic surgeries to look all be not how I look now. You know, so I don't want to get autistic about it, but essentially, I want to do like auditing my company itself and my life to treat it like a brand, a business. Maximizing revenue, becoming like a you know, just being a capitalist about it. Looking to what's innovative, what's cutting edge, and I feel like my designs or what I can, my mind can offer to the marketplace something fresh and new that people are excited about and wanting to spend money. So that's kind of where I'm at, and my company hopefully will be profitable in 3 to 5 years. So you know I look forward to that, and I appreciate anybody who stayed this long, and I hope you become a customer in the future and maybe even a shareholder. So that's where I'm at, and that's it for now.